Letter C. Doug has a bucket that is 12 inches tall and has a radius of 6 inches, filled completely with water. Now, I look down and I see it's already labeled 12 inches tall, 6-inch radius. Awesome. Doug pushes a basketball with a diameter of 10 inches completely into the water, overflowing the water in the bucket. How much water is left in the bucket? So it doesn't have labeled that this basketball has a diameter of 10 inches. So I'm going to label that my picture. So let's see. What are we trying to measure? We are measuring how much water is left in the bucket. What shape would that water be in? Well, it would be the shape of the bucket. Water is the shape of whatever it fills. If you put water in a cone, water's in the shape of a cone. If you put water inside of a cube, the water's in the shape of the cube. Since the water's inside this bucket, it's the shape of a cylinder. So we need to find the volume of our cylinder. V equals pi r squared h. And this is the volume of the cylinder. Okay. Now, after you push the water in here, some water is going to overflow. It's going to spill out over the sides. The amount of water that would overflow would be the volume of the sphere. So if we figure out how much space the sphere takes up, the ball, the basketball here, that would be the amount of water that was pushed out of the bucket. So our final problem is actually going to be, we're going to take the volume of the cylinder and subtract the volume of the ball. Let's not use ball, let's use sphere. Use our proper language here. pH. And that will be the amount of water left in the bucket. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange a little bit here because this is my overall goal. If I can do this, this is the answer to the question. Now, that also means, do I know, just by looking at the picture, does it tell me anywhere the volume of the cylinder? No. We're going to find that out. Does it say anywhere in the problem the volume of the sphere? No. It tells us the ball has a diameter of 10 inches. Doesn't say what the volume is, so we're going to have to find that out. So once we find out the volume of the cylinder and the volume of the sphere, if we subtract them, that will be the answer to the question. So let's get to it. Step 1, write down the formula. Step 2, substitute. We don't know the volume of the cylinder. Now let's stick with red for now. Pi is 3.14. We know, let's see, radius. Do we know the radius of the cylinder? We do. It's 6 inches. Squared. Do we know the height of the cylinder? We do. It's 12. Okay, so that makes finding the volume of this cylinder very easy. So we have everything we need. We just plug it in. So 3.14 times by 6 squared is 36 times 12. Mr. Calculator says 3.14 times by 36 equals times by 12 equals, I did actually look at the number, 1,356.48. 1356.48. Double check it. Yes. All right. So this is the volume of the cylinder. Okay? Now let's find the volume of the sphere. I don't know that formula yet. We haven't seen that one yet. V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay? V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. All right, so let's plug it in. Do we know the volume? No. 4/3. Well, we can leave them as 4/3. Eventually, I'm probably going to change that to a decimal. Pi is 3.14. Radius. Well, the problem gives me a diameter. It says the diameter is 10 inches. So radius is half of that. A radius is half of a circle. So if the diameter is 10, the radius is 5. And cubed. Write down the formula. Substitute. Solve. Now if we do this math, we get ourselves an answer. So let's see. 5 cubed. Actually, I can do that one. That's 125. 4/3 times by 3.14 times by 125 equals. All right. Now, to do 4/3, I'm just going to take 4 divided by 3 times by 3.14 times by 125, 523.3 repeated. All right, so we have the volume of the cylinder. That's how much water was in the cylinder at the very beginning of the problem. The guy pushes this basketball into the bucket, spilling out this much water. That's how much space the basketball takes up. So the amount of water left in the bucket would be the 1356.48 minus the 523.33, giving us, let's see, 1356.48 minus 523.33 is 833.15. And since we're talking about volume, it will be in inches cubed. So that was a DOK 2, depth of knowledge 2. That took some extra work. It wasn't just find the volume of the cylinder, where you just plug the numbers in. You had to find the volume of the cylinder, we had to find the volume of the sphere, and we had to subtract them to find the remaining amount of water that would be floating or that would be inside the bucket on the outside of this basketball. That's how much water is left in the bucket still right now, even though this basketball is completely pushed in there.